Okay, everybody, we are going to get started. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm very excited about the training and the information I'm going to be sharing with each and every one of you. Exciting times to become entrepreneur anywhere around the world. We have so many people from around the world that are watching this webinar. We are also recording this, so you will have access to this webinar to be able to share with so many people that's going to need this information. And again, if you don't have paper and pen, please grab paper and pen and get yourself away from any of the distractions. Anytime we're talking about mindset or you're listening on any type of training that has to do with reprogramming your mindset, you don't want to be multitasking. So if you are doing that because you don't want to miss this, definitely definitely watch the recording and write and take some notes when you're doing that as well. So once again, Andreas Papakostas here. I'm just so fortunate to be able to present this opportunity, sharing a lot from people that I've learned from. And the information you're going to hear today is basically a combination of so many people that I've learned from, so many experiences that I've went through, and also always keeping my awareness at an all-time high to continue to be more, become more, do more, have more, earn more, give more, serve more. All these things collectively has got me to where I am today, and I want to be able to share as much as I can. You know, you're going to see a lot of information here that's a combination of just, again, you know, people that you are maybe you have heard of, you know, Tony Robbins and Eric Worre. Definitely lots of information I'm going to be sharing here that comes from Joe Garcia. And really a lot of other successful people that I continue to read, learn from, and really I'm going to be sharing you a mission that I believe is my destination of where I'm going to be going, and that's really helping people increase their awareness level so they can go out there and figure it out. Let's be real here. You know, there's a lot of people that are going to be listening to this that are entrepreneurs. They're either in direct sales, they're in network marketing, they're in affiliate marketing, they own small businesses, they're maybe commission-based individuals where they have some type of control how much money they can be earning. So what I'm going to share with you here today, folks, is going to help you tremendously. And I just want people to be aware that today there is so much information out there. Everyone's writing a book. Everyone is an expert. Everyone is a guru. Everyone's got the magic pill, so to speak, to getting people to become successful. Now, I don't claim to be the master of anything. I just share from passion, from experience, from my successes, also from my failures, to be able to heighten the awareness of so many people that are looking for that magic pill. And I'm telling you right now, this information I'm going to share with you is not a magic pill. It is principles. I'm going to share with you what is scientifically proven, and again, all within my delivery system in hopes that I stimulate people that are watching here right now to achieve more in their life. And that is what my tagline is. I want to help people believe they can achieve more through entrepreneurship by developing themselves personally, developing themselves professionally, and developing themselves financially. Now, what I'm going to share with you here today, you know, there's so many people out there that are looking at the how-to. How can I build a business? How can I make more money? How can I find more people? And what I'm going to share with you here today is probably maybe 80, 90% totally different than what you will see and hear or read from books out there, because there's a lot of money to be made in this realm of personal development, right? It covers so many different topics, so many different subjects, so many different avenues to do that. I really feel that the information I'm going to share right now is going to at least stimulate an awareness, and because of that, stimulate the change that you need to have in order for you to go to the next level. I don't care if you're listening to this and you're a multimillionaire, become even more of a multimillionaire. Add more numbers to those paychecks. If you're making tens of thousands of dollars, I don't want you stuck there. I want you making six figures and then going to seven figures, right? So the only way that I know how I can help you do that is through the information I'm going to share with you right now. So let's get started. I want you, for those that have a paper and a pen, I want you to draw this diagram on a paper. Put it on horizontal, put your paper on horizontal format and put this thing down, because I want you to write notes. I want you to write down the things that we're going to be covering here, because to me, this is what I'm realizing now that took me many, many years to realize. And so I may get a little heated, I may get a little passionate, because I believe in everything I'm going to share with you here today. And if you take a look at all the successful people around the world, not the ones that have arrived and then lost it and then they won it back again. I'm talking about the people that got there, sustained it, and is growing from that. All these people, all of them, will basically agree to everything I'm going to share with you here today. So draw this diagram off, and what I'm going to do from left to right, this is really the formula to, again, success in life, okay? Belief, which includes faith, vision, thoughts, feelings, activities and action, results, and the type of lifestyle you're currently living or you'd like to live. This is the formula. I'm going to touch on every single one of these. So let's start off with going into belief and faith. You know, every single one of these categories we can basically do a weekend seminar on and not even scratch the surface of how deeper each of these categories really go into in, again, helping you realize where you're at and why you are not getting to where you want to be. Okay? And I want to start off with belief, because in my opinion, anything that I'm going to talk about after belief and faith, it will not matter. It will not work unless you understand this category that I'm going to cover. We all know belief is everything. The problem is we struggle with belief, and you'll get to understand why. The reality is, and I wrote this down on the bottom here, is the majority of people are walking around living their life with the wrong identity. Now, again, stay with me here, right? And you're going to understand this after I go over this. This should empower you. This should liberate you, as it did for me, okay? So when we're talking about faith, we're talking about belief, how we believe in the company that we're building. How do we believe the industry that we're in? What beliefs do we have in regards to a lot of different things, especially belief within ourselves? Because first and foremost, that is the part that people need to work on more than anything else. And for some reason, people like to cut corners, people like to deviate from it, and it is the reason why they're not getting to where they want to go. Okay? So let's take a look at this. Again, I'm just going to be scratching the surface here with this webinar here, because I am going to expand on this in the future with more trainings, because I really believe if people can grasp this, understand this, you're going to want to figure it out. When you want to figure it out, it's part of the success that you know you can have if you truly grasp this. So let's talk about belief and faith. Okay? Where does our belief system come from? Okay, I just jot down the majority that people can probably grasp. Our belief system comes from our parents, okay? They come from our friends. This is why law of association is so crucial in achieving what you want in life. Our belief system comes from our education system. It comes from our religious leaders. It comes from the culture that we're in. based on either the country we're from, the nationality we are. Our belief system also comes from media, okay? And again, I can probably add another 20, 30, 40, but this plays a major role of really what our belief system is right now today, right? And sometimes we don't really realize that, because this is so important to understand, because it's going to determine how you view things that you're working so hard to attract and to achieve. Your belief in faith will determine how you view money. It will determine how you view relationships, politics, wealth, what risk means to you, what is failure to you, and what does success look like to you. And this all comes from, again, the belief system that was given to us by our parents, friends, education, sister culture, media, religious leaders, and a lot of other things as well. Why is this so important? Because nobody takes the time to really, really challenge or reflect all these beliefs that we have about things. Are they really our beliefs, or were there beliefs that we bought into because it was given to us and it was easy? It's easier to just believe in what was given to us than to really challenge it and figure it out. I can't tell you how important this aspect is. And if you want to deviate from this and you want to, cut corners on this, don't expect the next 20 years of your life to be totally different than your previous 20 years. This is the stuff that people need to spend time on a consistent basis, because you want to find out, are you the real person that you're walking and talking every single day, or is it somebody that you think you are because of the beliefs that were given onto you? Now, I'm not saying that the beliefs that were passed on to you are bad or they're wrong, but you want to challenge them to either strengthen that the beliefs that you hold are truly the beliefs that currently serve you today. Because so many people walk around with beliefs about certain things that maybe served them 20 years ago, but today don't serve them at all. But they hold on to the beliefs, and this is what determines some of the other things we're going to be talking about. The thoughts that you have, the feelings that you have, which dictates what action steps you take or action steps you don't take, which will ultimately give you the results, whether good or bad. I can't get any deeper than this, because this is so crucial to getting people to embed this in their personal development on a daily basis. So what do we do? What can we do? How do we start? How do I know if if these are beliefs that serve me? So here are the things that, again, there's 4 steps that you can take. And I listed them here. You can start the change process, right? And number 1 is you have to be aware. This is why I love awakening awareness in people. Wiping off the dirt on your sunglasses or your glasses, increasing the awareness antennas on your head so you can start seeing the things that are in front of you that will serve you. But because we don't ever challenge, we're not really aware of them, we don't challenge them, nothing really changes for us. And we continue our habits and we work every single day just like we did yesterday, last week, last month, 10 years ago, and nothing really changes. You gotta be aware of what beliefs do you have about the things that I listed: money, relationships, success, failure. You have to understand, right? You have to understand what is holding you back. What issues are holding you back when it comes to money? What issues are holding you back when it comes to relationships? What issues are holding you back on taking risks, whatever risks those are, right? And so you have to be aware of those. You have to understand what they are, right? And, if you don't learn from life's lesson, guess what? They're going to repeat. And people don't understand why things get repeated. If you take a look at patterns, right? Take a look at patterns. This is something that, Joe Garcia talked about so many times in his in a lot of the webinars that he conducts. If you take a look at repeat patterns that happen to you in your life, right? How many times have you caught yourself, or even others? How many times have you caught yourself saying, man, every time I'm about to do this, this always happens, right? How many times have you been in that situation, or you've heard that happen from other people? When I get to this stage in my business, or this stage with my relationship, this always happens. That's a pattern. And the patterns are all based on the belief system and faith that you have within, again, yourself. So, if you take a look at patterns in your relationships, I guarantee you'll find the same patterns in your health. I guarantee you're going to find the same patterns in your finances. I guarantee you I'm going to find the same patterns within your business, whichever business you are building. I guarantee you. It doesn't lie. And it all stems from, again, your belief structure. Now, this is no different than when you reflect and evaluate your law of association, but we're not talking about that here. We're talking about challenging your belief system that was given onto you. The things that don't serve you anymore, start to disassociate yourself from those. You're going to have to make decisions. The decisions you make are going to form new habits. The new habits you're going to form is going to change the course of the, again, formula that we're going to be going through on this webinar here. This is where you start to reprogram you. You're not saying it's okay for me to believe this because that's what everybody else does. It's okay for me to believe this because that's what I heard and that's what was told, right? You need to start challenging certain things that were given to you to realize, is that forming the real you or not? This is crucial. It's where everything else stems from. And then I want to go into vision, because your belief system is basically what's going to feed your vision, or lack of, right? You keep hearing from so many key leaders and successful people around the world about vision. Without vision, everything dies. Nothing gets created. Everything is seen once in their mind first before it materializes, right? Vision is everything, but your vision, right, is going to be dictated based on your belief system. So I'm a big believer that if you can see the invisible, faith and belief will do what most people think is impossible. I'm going to say that again. If you can see the invisible, right, things that haven't materialized yet, but you see it, your faith and belief system, if it serves you, will do the impossible. That's liberating, folks. I mean, every time I say that, I get goosebumps that all over, because it is so true. Now, vision. What does it really mean? You hear about it all the time. Well, you got to know, you got to be able to draw your own canvas of what your life wants to be 5, 10, 15 years from now. If money was never an issue, and we're going to talk about that, but if money was never an issue, what would your life look like right now? Can you paint it? You get to pick the colors. You get to pick the utensils. Nobody gives those to you. You pick what color, what picture it looks like. It's a blank book. You get to write it every single day, right? And then we have the movie. You paint the picture, you got to make it real. What movie gets played into your head over and over and over again of what you want to have done maybe 5, 10, 15 years from now, or maybe this summer, or maybe next year? What movie gets played in your head? Now, here's where a lot of people have a problem with. most people, when you ask them to draw a picture or paint a picture, it stays blank. That's the sad part about visualization. Now, I don't have time to go into this training, but man, can I share with you some visualizations that has happened to me over the course of my life, that I actually created my reality through my visualization. And I believed, and this is before I was even taught any of this stuff. It's just why I'm passionate about bringing this information on, because it resonates with me. It has happened. It is real. It is scientifically proven. So what picture can you start painting? We talk about these dream boards, right? And the reason why it's great to have Photoshop pictures and put something there and you can look at it, but man, when you can draw your own pictures, it doesn't have to look pretty. It doesn't have to look like, you're a Picasso. You just have to make it what you want it to look like. You got to. And then you got to play that movie in your head as if it already has occurred. You're playing the movie of your future as if it already has occurred. Do you do that? Right? This is so huge. Now, your movie or your pictures are going to look like what your belief system and what belief values you hold. So, what is it about the vision that is so important in making more money in your life and having better relationships in your life, earning more, doing all the things for the reasons why you guys are all on this webinar here today? Bottom line is you all want more. You all want to be more happy. You want to have more money. You want to have more time. You want to be able to give more. You want to experience more. You want to travel more. You want to do more. This is why you're on this webinar, right? Well, if you don't have a vision, many, many years will go by and nothing will ever change. You're going to have to answer this question in a very detailed way. What do you want? Why do you want it? We get people started in our business as soon as they enroll, and this is one of the most often asked questions. What do you want? What do you want it? And a lot of people can't answer it. Most people will just say, I don't really know. How are you going to attract, succeed at anything if you don't even know what you want and why do you want it? And so many people miss this step and jump into the next step thinking that everything is going to be okay by not focusing on this. Some people, it hurts for them to sit down and put down what they want. And you know why some people don't know what they want? Because they don't believe they deserve it or they believe they can have it. Why? Because of the belief system that was instilled in them that doesn't really serve them. But this is a clue that when you want something and automatically you tell yourself, yeah, they ain't going to happen, that is a clue for you to challenge your belief systems and ask yourself those 4 questions that we just went over. You got to reflect it. Otherwise, whatever business you get involved with, whatever service you get involved with, whichever partner you get involved with, if you don't change that and work on this, the results are going to be the same. Gosh, this is so huge. Paint the picture. Details, details, details. It is important. People say, I want a house. I want to travel more. I want a car. I want a bigger home. I want to make more money. Well, what does more money mean? What is that? A few more $100, a few $1,000, $1 million? Someone says I want to make $6,000 a month. Well, why not $8,000 a month? Heck, why not $20,000 a month? Because we limit ourselves based on our belief system that is given onto us that we never challenged. I hope this is making sense for you, okay? So, how I want to travel more. I just want to travel. I love the idea of traveling. Well, where do you want to go? How does your mind start to create and attract the things that you're looking to do if it's not detailed. Somebody wants to buy a bigger home. I'd love to buy a home. Great. What is that? Is that a 2-story? Is it a ranch? Is it in a country? Is it in a city? Is it a 2-story? Is it a 3-story? Does it have wood floors? Is it a marble countertop? Does it have Formica on it? What is it? What does your master bedroom look like? You know, if you can't paint the picture, the universe can't give it to you. It's that simple. And so many people don't take time to do that because they get busy in their life. Now, that's a topic in another training that I'm not going to cover, but you should get busy in painting your picture. You should get busy in playing your movie. That's what you should get busy on. And you don't stop until you make it so specific that you start playing that movie and you start believing that you can already have it. Because your vision is what creates your thoughts. This is so huge. And there's so many misconceptions out there with some of the books that are out there. And again, don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say. When you have books like Think and Grow Rich, right? You know, that's a catchy phrase. I think and grow rich. But see, that's not the concept. It's not think your way to being successful. That's only a portion of the formula. But the information in there, oh my gosh, is only as good as what your belief system and your values are. But thoughts is huge. Your thoughts are going to be dictated by your vision. Are your thoughts positive? Are your thoughts negative? Does the past always surface up when you're talking to yourself? What does your self-talk sound like? I mean, think about it. You will have more conversations with yourself than you will have with anybody else on the planet. If you can't have a good conversation with yourself, you are never going to win in anything you attempt. Plain and simple. If you can't have a positive, uplifting conversation with yourself, how do you expect to have those types of conversations with everybody else? Okay? Positive or negative, this is where you control the thoughts. It's you. It's not the external. It's not the circumstances. It's not your past. But if you let it based on your belief system, then you're right. That's why in the bottom here, I put down, if you think you can't, you're right. You're 100% correct. You just thought that into existence. It happens all the time. So, do you dwell in the past? What is your self-talk? Is it positive? Is it negative? Because your thoughts is basically going to move into your feelings. Now, this is where I started to study more on feelings than I've done anything else. And it's just really amazing when you put all of this together, how feelings is basically the glue to the other stuff that a lot of people put a lot of time into, and that's going into activities and actions. But feelings, holding on to the feeling as if you've already have it now, is truly where attraction begins. For those of you that watched The Secret, and everybody's life was going to change after they watched The Secret, I guarantee you 99.9% of the people that watched The Secret, that fell in love with it, didn't change their lives. Okay? Because thoughts and feelings come from your vision, which comes from your belief system. So if there isn't a foundation of your belief system, it doesn't matter what you read, it doesn't matter what you see, it doesn't matter anything unless you change that. But folks, the subconscious mind starts to work for you when you start tying emotions and feelings to your thoughts and vision, right? Falling in love with your dream. You hear Joe Garcia talk about it all the time. You must fall in love with your dream as if you already have it now. And that's when you start playing that movie. That's when that picture is so crystal clear. You can see it, you can frame it, and you want to show it. You just know it, you have it, and it just hasn't materialized yet. So when you can hold on to that feeling as if you already have it now, it's when your subconscious mind gets to work. It's where the magic happens. Dr. Dwayne Dyer, Wishes Fulfilled, is one of the best books that you can read to understand this concept, right? This is where you feed your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind starts to work. If it's negative, you're going to get it. If it's positive, you're going to get it. So again, feelings is what feeds the subconscious mind. It's where it starts the attraction. And these are the things that you want to start asking yourself. Again, because we can talk about it, you can agree about it, but how can you tap into this, right? Well, how do you feel about your past? Good or bad? How do you feel about it? If it's bad, what lessons can you learn from it, right? See, you've heard this cliche and you're hearing it more and more. It's not you either succeed or you learn. It's not you succeed and you fail, right? So what are you learning? What are you learning if your past was fantastic? What do you learn from that, right? Good or bad? They're all learning experiences. How do you feel about the future? Is it positive? Is it negative? If it's not positive, you're stuck. You're stuck because you don't have a vision. You're stuck because you have belief systems that don't serve you anymore, that makes either A, your self-worth is low, B, you don't feel like you deserve it, right? And nobody is telling you to feel that way. It's just that you are because of your belief system, right? How do you feel about the future? It's such an amazing force, guys. The future is such an amazing force. You got to feel excited about it. Every day is a new day to learn. Every day is a new day to grow. Every day is a new day to become more, right? So it's got to be strong. It's got to be purposeful. It's got to be vivid. It's got to be detailed. How do you feel about each other? How do you feel about your relationship? How do you feel about your partner? How do you feel about your business partner? How do you feel about your neighbors? How do you feel about your parents? How do you feel about your siblings? Right? Now, not everybody has to agree with everyone's perception and vision. That's not what I'm talking about here, right? You got to appreciate diversity. You got to appreciate differences because this is how we grow. If everybody agreed to everyone, then we'd all be boring. It would be boring. We'd all be yes people. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Is that how you want to live your life? So when things don't agree with you, right, that's a lesson. That's just be stimulating for you, right? So more importantly, how do you feel about yourself? This is something that a lot of people try to deviate. They push it aside in some other parts of their subconscious mind. And because it's uneasy, well, your future is uneasy. Again, it's all based on your belief system, right? How do you feel about yourself? Is it good? Is it great? Is it bad? Could it be better? Could it be more? Could it be less? Think about that. How many people actually take a look in the mirror and really stare at yourself? Stare at yourself. Not just your physical features, not your physical features, but stare at you, the whole you, mind, subconscious, and look at yourself. A lot of people can't do it. They turn away. A lot of people start to cry. I did. When I looked at myself, I did a program where I looked at myself and I had to talk to myself, and I cried. I cried tremendously. But that liberated me. And I still do it, right? Because we can always be more. We can always do more. We can always give more. We can always serve more. We always want to become more of us, not what was given to us, right? So these are things that you can start challenging yourself and start doing. Now, all these things that I've talked about, if you take a look at this vertical line here, everything I talked about was to the left of that vertical line, which I call kind of the foundation / the invisible stuff, right? Everything else I'm going to talk about now is going to be at the right of this vertical line. Everything I'm going to talk about from now on here makes no ounce of difference if you do not challenge, reflect, and work on the things that I just talked about, from belief system all the way up to feelings. Okay? So let's talk about now activities in action. Here's a reality. Everybody wants to do more, right? They want to. You hear people in business tell you, you just got to talk to more people. You got to do this. You got to do more of this. You got to do more presentations. You got to do this. You got to do that, right? You got to do more leads. You got to capture more leads. You got to do more of this. You got to do more of that, right? And here's the reality. You're going to do more or less of based on how you feel, which is based on what your self-talk is, which is based on whether you have a vision or not, and based on your belief system. How many people do you know have talked to hundreds of people, yet they're not moving anywhere in their business or in their life? How many people do you know have gone through 100 dates, right? And they still can't find the one. I want you to think about that. So taking action is only as good as your belief system. I can't stress this enough because, folks, there's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of money to be made on how to do. How. Everything I talked about prior to this was why. Everything now is how. And the how is only as good as the why. Because if there's a why, there is always a way. I want you to write that down. If you have a why, there is always a way. Okay? So, when we're talking about taking action in activities, because this is where so many people work on, right? Because it takes time to talk about the other stuff. What money-making activities are you doing? What money-making activities are you doing on a daily basis? What are they? Heck, if you join a direct sales company, they tell you what they want you to do. They want you to talk to people, right? They want to do this. You want to do that. You want to do the numbers. You got to do that, right? Let me tell you what it is. It's very simple. You go out there and you share the product or the service, right? You share the business opportunity, right? You work on yourself, and you teach others to do those three things. That's it. How you arrive at those activities is going to be all based, again, on the system and all that other stuff. I'm not going to go into what you should be doing and stuff like that. But what money-making activities are you doing or not doing, right? What mindset development or personal development are you doing? That's part of taking action. Because if you don't work on you or work harder on you than you do anything else, whatever you work hard at, it's going to stop. It's not going to be consistent. I guarantee you. How many people do you know? And this could be you. How many people do you know that get started and then they stop? And they get started and then they stop. And they get started and then they stop. And they get started and then they stop. It's not consistent. How many people do you know made a lot of money and then they lost it all? And they get into a little activity, they make a lot of money, and they lost it all. You see the patterns there? There's a pattern there. And the problem with that is their belief system, which gives them a vision or lack of vision, which gives them their self-talk, which gives them either a good feeling, a great feeling, or an exceptional feeling, or a terrible feeling, which will dictate what actions they do and how long they will actually do it. So when you're going and talking about activities and action, we got plus and we got minus, right? What daily method of operation do you have to build your business, your relationship, to serve, to make money, to provide value, and to win? What's your daily method of operation? Do you have one? I guarantee you, we got a lot of people on this call here today. I guarantee you, if I asked everybody on this call what is their daily method of operation, I would probably get only less than 5% that actually have a daily method of operation. Isn't that sad? And we tell you have to have a daily method of operation. What is it for you? And if you don't have one and you don't think you need to have one, it's because you have a lack of vision. You don't have any goals because you don't have belief systems that serve you. You think they do. You walk around like they do, but they don't. And it's that simple, right? So activities and action creates your results, right? We know that. You hear it all the time. You take action, you get a certain result. You want a better result, you take more action, right? But again, no one ever says anything about the other stuff prior to that. So when we're talking about results, right? What are we looking for? Well, if you're doing all the right things, you got a solid foundation, you've created your picture, you're playing your movie, your self-talk is amazing, you're uplifting, you're inspiring, you feel real good, and you're taking action. You're sharing the product and the mission and the service and whatever it is that you're doing, right? And you're sharing opportunities with people, and you're just on a mission, right? Well, here's what your results are. You rank advance. You're advancing your ranks. Your income increases, right? Your growth, your volume increases. People are duplicating, right? You're increasing your own awareness, which you're putting back into developing yourself, which then boosts everything 10 times. I'm sure that's the results that everybody is looking for, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be here on this training. Now, if your foundation here isn't so good, and you think you're just going to do the actions without having a great self-talk, without having a picture, without having a movie, this is the other side of the results. You start blaming people, others. You start complaining. How many people do we know that are complaining that the shipment came in, the box was torn? I can't believe it. It's my business is ruined. I can't move from this. If they don't get this right, oh my God. Everything is external. It has nothing to do with them. It has to do with everyone else. It has to do with everything and everyone but themselves. And these are people that are maybe making 100 calls a day. These are people that are going out there and sharing the product or the service or the opportunity. These are people who are going out there and they're reading the books, man. They're reading the books. Their library is like $10,000 worth of personal development. They're reading it. But they're blaming, they're complaining, they have low self-worth, and they get sucked into drama, or they try to suck you into drama. How many people do we know that fall into this category? I can guarantee you I could trace it back to their belief systems. I could trace it back to their upbringing. I could trace it back to what they heard and what they listened to, what their association is. I can trace it all the way back to there. And this is not just for you to reflect on you, but this is for you to increase your awareness when you come in contact with people like this. You can't change these people. You can't tell them all the right things because they're still operating in that same belief system that is getting them to complain, blame everything else. You can't change them by telling them all the right things. You just can't. What you can do is hopefully get them to start all over in their foundation and their belief system. And guess what? Many people won't do it. Why? Because they don't have time. They're too busy. They don't think there's anything wrong with them. They're walking around with the wrong armor on their body. It's not really them, but it is. I hope that makes sense. It's not really them, but it is. Because that's who they allow themselves to be. Right? So, you have a choice. Which side of the results do you want? We know what you want, right? So what are you going to do in regards to making that happen? And some of you guys that are already on the plus sign, right? It's not about money, folks. You can do a lot of things with money. Money is energy, transfers. There's enough money for everybody to have an abundance of all of it. I mean, you can have it, right? How can you do more? How can you become more? How can you give more? How can you serve more? How can you leverage more? How can you duplicate more, right? How can you do that? Do you think you've arrived and you're just okay with what you got, right? Can you become more and do more? Continue. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And this is why this is so crucial. This information is so crucial for people, right? So after your results is the type of lifestyle you're going to live in, right? So the car you drive is based on the money you have. That's what most people say, right? And I believe that, but I believe that because you're driving the car or the house that you live in based on the money that you have is because of your belief system you currently have. Think about that. You live in the house, you drive the car, the clothes you wear are based on the money you have. It dictates what you own. But the money you have is based on your belief system. So if you want to make more money, don't just do more of what you're doing with attracting the whatever money you're making now. You got to go back and change your belief systems and your vision and your self-talk, which gives you the certain feeling that allows the subconscious mind to get to work with a different canvas, with a different movie reel. I want you to think about that, right? So when you're on the plus, this is the kind of lifestyle that you're going to have. You're going to have a lifestyle of success, someone who's significant, and someone who created a legacy. We all want that. We all want people to remember us on how we made people feel. You can't take your cars and your boats and your motorcycle and your nice $100,000 backyard into your grave. But man, you know the memories you can create with that stuff, with the people that you care about and love, right? How do you make them feel? People don't remember what car you drove 20 years ago, but they will remember that one incident you made them feel 20 years ago. They'll never forget that. This is why the magic happens in the feeling. I hope you guys remember that. And the feeling is controlled by the thoughts, which is created by our vision or lack of vision that is all given to us by whatever beliefs we have, right? But if you want to be a blamer and a complainer, and you don't want to change your belief system, your lifestyle is going to be a lifestyle of complacency, a lifestyle of crisis, right? A lifestyle that's all failure. And you're going to blame everyone and everything except for yourself. How many people do we know that had a bad past? And rightfully so, why they may feel the way they feel at that moment, right? But they went and they turned it around because they worked on themselves. And then you got people, same experiences, and their kids are, when you take a look at poverty, there is no new generations of poverty. Poverty gets passed from generation to generation because of the belief system that they're instilling, right? There's maybe a couple new generations of poverty, but poverty gets passed down, poverty. That's a clue. I want you to think about that, right? So blaming, complaining, drama gives you a lifestyle of complacency, crisis, failure, which winds up becoming a regret, right? So if I was to turn this diagram around, right? It's a tree. There's your fruits. They're hanging at the same level, right? One side's got nice, luscious, great, amazing, edible fruits, and the other ones are rotten. Think about that. Both of these fruits come from the same roots. And what people neglect to do is focus down here. They want to go ahead and put water here. They want to water the branches, right? They want to water this trunk, right? They want to put something on this insectant repellent so it doesn't rot, right? Where are these fruits coming from? Over here. If you don't take care of this, folks, this is what's going to happen. If you take care of this and work on this, this will happen automatically. Too many people are focusing on this, and they don't understand why they're not getting this. You got to get back down here, folks, to the roots, and that's your belief system and your faith and your foundation. I hope you understand that the people that are in this mode here, they're actually following this formula and they don't even know it. They're following this exact formula and yet they don't even know it. And yet you now are aware of this formula, and man, look at the fruits that you can bear. I want you to think about that. Too many people are spending a lot of time on things that are not productive. Too many people are spending a lot of time on busy things that don't serve them. Too many people are just staying complacent. They're just going into the motion. And to be honest, there's not a lot of things you can do except for you becoming the bigger, more direct you. The you that has the correct armor on of belief system that serves you. And when you can do that, the universe will give you the things you plant in your head. It will. It's been scientifically proven. You've heard it from all the successful leaders around the world. You've read them in books. You've listened to them in training courses. It is not a theory anymore, folks. It is facts. And I hope this training just give you a glimpse, because this training is not going to be the change for you, but I hope this training awakens your awareness, heightens your antennas, wipes off your lenses of your glasses so you can realize what you can do with this information. And when you can go back and start focusing on the belief system, right? And again, we just scratched the surface here with just getting you aware of some of this stuff. But if you can go back and start working on you, I guarantee you there's people out there that would love to help you do just that, because it is liberating when someone has gone through that, seen it through their experience, it knows it because it's scientifically proven, and is able to live that life that you can also do the same. We didn't even talk about a lot of the law of association, but again, if you continue to worry about what other people feel, that ain't paying your bills, that are not designing your lifestyle, don't be upset with your next 5 to 10 years of your life, because it's going to be the same. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us here today. I hope you took down some notes. Please share this out to as many people as you can that need to hear this information. And this is obviously recorded. We will have it available to all of you. I want to thank you all for joining us. It's my sincere pleasure to share a little bit of just some information that I'm very passionate about, in hopes that I awaken your awareness and help you achieve more through becoming an entrepreneur. Thank you so much for joining us. Andreas Papakostas signing off from the Chicagoland area. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.